Here's another example, man. Um, man, I was at work release and I got sent back from work release because I went to the beach. That's a whole nother story. Just bear with me. I'm gonna tell that story one day. Just keep with me for the purpose of the story. So I get sent back to prison. At this point in time, I was a youthful offender. They snatched my YO. I'm in confinement. They sent me to adult prison for the first time. So I'm in confinement for maybe, I think I had what, 90 days? I think I had 60 days for the deviation from work release, and I got like another DR while I was in confinement for disobeying a verbal order, not being in my Class A blues during count time. So I'm in confinement, and a lot of times in confinement, like part of the sleeping schedule that you just naturally adapt is just sleeping all day and staying up all night. For some reason, it seems like the nights go by faster. So I stay up all night and I sleep all day. Um, and there was this dude across the hall from me, and like we stay up at night and we sign language, be laughing and climbing through the door. At this point in time, I don't think I had a cellie in confinement. And the police, I'm on the very top cell, close to the shower. Just like a dorm like this, they got doors all the way at the bottom, all the way at the top. I'm the very last one. So at nighttime, the police come around and they do, I think it's like a 30-minute check, and it's like a count every hour. So when they do the 30-minute check, the police just walk by in it with the lights in every window. They just walk the wing, put the lights in every window, make sure everybody's in there, nobody escapes. So I'm clown. I come up with this idea. I tell the dude what I'm gonna do. So I'm just being a goofball. So the police are walking around doing their check, putting the light in every cell. So I'm in the cell by myself. It's hot, no AC in Chain Gang. You know what I mean? Unless you're at a private institution. This one wasn't private, so it's hot. So I'm in my boxers, which is a norm. So, in the cell you got, two bunks, one's on top of each other, and you got a toilet, tiny cell. So I'm in the very back corner. So where if you're looking in the cell window, all you see is my back and I'm facing the corner. So I'm in the cell corner and I'm walking in the wall with my hands up. It looks like I'm just walking into the wall. So I do this purposely to look crazy with the police when he's doing his count. So he's walking by, he shines a light in the room. The light goes on me. I'm not looking back, but I can see the light like all around me. So he stops and he just watching me, and I'm just like walking into the wall. Just walking right into the wall. So and he don't say nothing. He's just like playing possum. He's just watching me. So I'm walking into the wall. Walking in, I'm like, dang, I gotta ride this one out. I'm just walking into the wall. So he's watching maybe for maybe 2 minutes. So finally he goes, "Inmate, inmate, what are you doing, inmate?" I don't stop. I keep walking in the wall. So I'm like, if I'm gonna climb, I'm gonna go all out. I just keep walking in the wall. He's like, "Inmate, inmate, what are you doing? What are you doing, inmate?" I'm walking in the wall. I don't stop. So now he's looking at, in the cell with a flashlight from the window. He's looking everywhere, looking around. He don't know what the heck's going on. So I just keep walking on the wall. He's pounding on the door. "Inmate, come here right now, inmate." So I just keep walking in the wall. I don't stop. So he just leaves eventually after 5 minutes yelling, banging. I don't turn around. I keep walking in the wall. So he leaves. He goes out, back in the southern port. So I go back on the glass on the window and I look to my dog across the window, and he's dying laughing because he's watching everything. He's crying. He's like, bro. So we're just dying laughing. So we're just joking about it. But every 30 minutes, when the same police, the same officer walks around and does his, his check, looking in all the windows, I go right back to the corner. So in his mind, he's thinking I've been doing this nonstop. He don't know I'm playing a game with him. So, listen, in prison, man, there's a lot of crazy people. They have specific psych institutions, to where a lot of people, man, they're just trying to finesse the system and get psych drugs to get high or sell, or they're junkies. But there's a lot of people who got real deal psychological issues. There's a lot of crazy people in the prison. So this dude, the police definitely thinks I'm crazy. So the second time it comes around, same thing. I'm in a corner, walking in the wall. So the second time he's watching me, yelling, beating on the door. But this time it doesn't stay as long. He leaves. But I'm still walking the whole time in the corner, in my boxers. Don't look back at him. So this goes on for hours. You know what I mean? He probably checks 5, 6 times, however many times, every 30 minutes, to the point where he don't even look at me no more. So now I have to switch it up because it's not fun no more. So now after the 5th or 6th time, however many times it was, now when he's walking by doing this check, now I'm facing the window, but I'm in the middle of the cell and I'm jumping up and down, hitting my head like this. Just doing some type of jumping jack, just hitting myself. So he comes by, he looks at me, and he's like, "Inmate, inmate, what are you doing, inmate?" I just keep doing it. just doing this, trying not to laugh the hardest I can. He's just watching me. I'm just running in place, hitting my heads in my hand. And he's watching me, yelling, hitting the cell. Inmate, what are you doing? Inmate, come here. So he finally leaves. We're dying laughing to the point where I do that a few times. There's no interest no more. It just keeps walking. So then, like later on in the night, the door pops and you can hear the door pop from your bunk. So I get up and I look, and it's the LT coming around. The LT does his round, I think, like once a night. So when the LT comes in, the officer's coming out. So you see the officer stop the LT, and I'm looking down, and he's talking to the LT, and then he begins to point up at my window. So I get off the glass real quick because I know he's telling the LT, the lieutenant, like, yo, you need to go check on that dude up there in the corner cell because he's freaking bugged out. He's walking the walls or hitting his hands on his head, whatever. So I'm like, screw this. I'm going in. I'm about to try the LT. I'm gonna get him too. So the LT's walking around, and the LT, like, they only do the check once a night. You know what I mean? Confinement can be crazy. People flooding the cells. Beating the doors down, refusing to eat, going on hunger strikes. So the LTs kind of got to be a little bit more political because it's their responsibility if they're over that dorm or confinement, whatever. So the LT's doing his rounds. So I'm finna get him. I'm bored. I think it's gonna be hilarious. So I hit him with the walking in the wall. So the LT's walking around. I go in a corner. Bam. Walking in the wall. So the LT, I think the officer was green. He probably was a rookie. He probably been in prison too long. The LT's older. Obviously, it takes you years to move up and rank. So the LT been around the block. So the LT a convict. The LT's done some time in prison working there. So you can't fool him. He ain't green. So he's playing possum on me. I'm walking in the wall. No exaggeration. He probably watches me for like a good 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Don't say nothing. Just watching me, seeing if I'm like real deal crazy. So he's watching me, so I'm like, oh man, I gotta go Hollywood on him. So I'm just like, dang, what's he gonna do? So I'm walking in the corner for a long time. He's just watching me. And then finally LT snaps. Don't, inmate, you better come to this freaking window right now. I keep walking. I'm like, dang, I'm about to get sprayed. so LT's pissed. You can tell he ain't playing. So then he opens a flap. Boom, because they feed they feed you through the flap with trays. So he's like, inmate, I'ma count to 3. You better come to this window right now, or I'm gonna open up this canister on you. And now I know that he can't just spray me with mace because I'm walking into the wall. But I don't want to get another DR. You know what I mean? I don't want to get in trouble more. I'm already doing 90 days in confinement. I don't want to get brought to the psych doctor. You know what I mean? I don't want these people in my chest. So, I have to I got to curl. I got to get out of this, but I can't show him that I'm playing. I got to disobey his order. So while I'm walking through his wall, he opens the flappy screens. I stop, and I just think real fast what I got to do now. I just got to play crazy and walk through the flap. So I stop. And I slow just look back at him with the most crazy look I can. I go, let's go. So I just look back at him and I start pointing at the corner while I'm walking slowly to the window, whispering, spiders, spiders. And I got my back, hunched up, walking real slow to the flap, spiders, spiders. So I get close. He's like, what? What are you saying? I keep looking back, pointing at the corner. I'm like, spiders. He's like, man, shut the heck up. Ain't no freaking spiders, man. Go lay down. So I slowly go in my bunk and I lay down. He leaves. I'm dying laughing. My homie across the hall dying laughing. But anyways, those are 2 of a million stories that I could literally just give descriptive explanations of that man, just doing so much time, bro. Like, you got a crazy imagination, and man, you just gotta have fun, because the only other option is being depressed and miserable, and that's just not who I am as a person. Obviously, Christ transformed my life in prison, but I was still a goofball, and I made the most of it. I made the best of it, and I had a lot of good memories and just, funny times, in prison, like that. But speaking of, just doing a lot of time.